It's time to get big with dumbbell lateral raises. First tip, always strap up, for the simple reason that when your arms are straight, the form will want to cave in. So you're flexing the wrists, which you might not feel right away, but when you're doing lateral raises with the 40s and beyond, and yes, you could do this, in fact, maybe your grip was a limiter all along, then you will find that strapping up allows you to grind those final joint angles while maintaining that perfect neutral wrist position, because the straps will pull you back. I don't even have to think about my hands anymore. Now they're simply hooks to which I can really isolate those side delts. So the less you have to grip the dumbbells and flex your wrists like you're doing a wrist curl, the better. Speaking of which, the figure 8 lateral raise, one of my exclusive hacks, allows you to keep those wrists up while at the same time removing the grip completely. This is the cuff lateral of the free weighted world. Check it out. I'm strapped up, the pressure's on the top part of the form, which eliminates a ton of joint stress, all muscle. And because you're shortening the lever arm ever so slightly, this gives you the benefits of bent arm laterals without becoming an overloading exercise or using sloppy technique. So you could stay strict, and most importantly, you can grind through right from here to here, because the lateral raise is short and biased when you do it standing, right? And that's never gonna change. But by using straps, you're able to power through a little bit more. You can either have the dumbbells come together, going out directly to the side, or go like a Y formation in front. Either way, it's never falling out, and all you're gonna feel is your side delts. And strapping up is especially useful if you're doing an upper body workout. So if the pulling volume was high, the forearms are tired, don't be limited by them. This is not what's gonna get them jacked to begin with. It just makes the exercise less effective for side delt hypertrophy, which is a common weak link. So you want maximum force output. And by the way, I learned about this from Dr. Mike when I worked out with him at Pure Muscle Gym. That's the first time I used straps on lateral raises, and I never went back. So we were doing it on the machine lateral, which is super range of motion. So you're going above the head like this. That's not more side delt, but it is more delt, period. And you're getting some upper back in there. But that's where the wrist bend becomes even more exaggerated. So no matter what variation you're doing, to the side, Y, all the way up, just buy a pair of straps. These are my original Iron Mind wrist straps. These are my new figure 8 straps by Bells of Steel, which allows you to cuff yourself without needing a cable machine or having this crazy complicated setup. And it's very fast to just get in. Now, some of you may have caught on that dumbbell lateral raises are not length and bias. So technically, they're not optimal yet. Some of the best delts of all time were built with this exercise alone. Literally standing and seated, even using the worst variation directly out to the sides, which is more traps. And so I would say, who gives a fuck? Just get stronger. You're small because you're lateral raising the 15-pound dumbbells, okay? Double, even triple your strength. Yes, you can do it. Let's start with that, right? But yes, I can agree that it's a con, but there's an easy solution, which is introducing a little bit of body English. So cheat reps are favorable in this context because we are evening out the resistance profile. So gravity operates in a straight vertical line when the arm is perpendicular to that. You will notice that the tension is greatest at the top. And as we get higher up, it levels out. So there's less tension here. You hit 90, more tension. Less tension, the drop off is 0. What I'm saying is, in the starting position, there's no tension on the side delts. Even as you start to move out a little bit, it's very minimal. You can move crazy lows just doing lengthened partials in this position. And actually, I prefer cheat reps in this context. So the bottom, there's nothing. And same thing at the top. So it's really when you hit 90 degrees, whether you're lowering from top to horizontal, like this is an old school lateral raise variation, or bottom to middle, it's the same resistance profile. So the arm orientation changes, but not the joint angle stress. I would just say that this style is maybe a bit more front delt and upper back, since you can maneuver your scapula a little bit more. At the end of the day, we're standing up. So the moment your arms hit that 90-degree angle, that's where the peak forces are. So either you stop right before performing lengthened partials, or you just accept that you're doing an inferior shortened position time-proven mass builder for the side delts, or you smooth out the resistance profile by cheating a little bit so that you can move very heavy loads in this position yet not be limited by the top portion. So momentum is carrying you through, but is doing so in the least hypertrophic part of the lift. So not all cheat reps are created equally. So whenever the lockout top is the most difficult part of an exercise, that's when you know cheat reps are fair game. So it's gonna apply to a lot of raises and free weighted back training. Some guys really butcher this, and you will see them using 80-pound dumbbells on lateral raises. I'm sorry, if you're not an IFBB pro, I don't see why you'd be lifting those kinds of loads. Like, you're using excessive momentum. I know, because I used to do the same garbage. Learned about it from a popular fitness influencer. So it involves having a wide stance, one arm at a time, getting that inward stretch in the delts, which is actually pretty chill. But then the problem is that you're bending the legs inwards and then using all this jerkiness. It's excessive. The leg drive, guys, if I would have never stopped doing that, you would have 100% seen the 100-pound dumbbells. Yet my delts were significantly smaller than they are now. And I'm only using 45 to 50 pounds on lateral raises, and the cheating is minor. So one arm is not the problem. When positioned correctly, you do get a little bit more stretch. And then with some momentum, you're slightly smoothing out the resistance curve. If it doesn't look ugly and you're not bending the legs, using triple extension, treating this like a fucking kettlebell swing, then you're probably in the clear. So get that stretch, raise, control, raise. So instead, you want to just maneuver the torso and go fast on the way up, but you're not bending the legs or swaying the hips sideways. So don't carry with the momentum. Like this, you know? Hell, you might even hit yourself in the balls. Like, I feel embarrassed just doing this shit. I can't believe I did this for such a long time, but if you're gonna cheat, control it. Please use your common sense. And also, when going one arm at a time, stay away from this leaning Tower of Pisa lateral, because what you've done is make it even more short and biased. You just took an already bad resistance profile and amplified it. Because this is the hardest portion. And then you're leaning into it. It's like, come on, man, for what? This tiny extra stretch of nothing, which is not even a stretch, because the arm is level? It's a waste of time. Stop doing that. Now, if you want the bracing benefits and the fact that there's less core by going unilateral and maybe greater motor unit recruitment, fine, but stay vertical. That's it. So with all that jargon out of the way, now let me teach you how to power raise the correct way. And notice the distinction of terminology. This keeps your form somewhat in check. Now, the method I'm going to show you reduces momentum in the bottom, but it maximizes it in the top. This way, it's still standardized and it forces you to control. First things first. You're going to bring the dumbbells together. The plates are squeezing. Now, hinge so that you're somewhat level with them. Don't get too low or else it becomes somewhat of a rear delphi. You want to be slightly forward, a very high back angle. From here, you're going to explosively raise the dumbbells to 90 degrees. No need to go higher unless the momentum gets you to that point, but going heavy enough will solve that for you. So lean back as you raise. Here, I'm 100% upright. As I lower, 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 the plates hit together. Upright, forward, It's a very slight cheat. Notice how I'm not doing anything with the legs. So there's almost like a brief pause in the bottom. You're getting yourself together. There's that collision action, which reduces that rebounding momentum, but then you're exploding by using the torso as leverage. So when you get stronger with this form, I would not call it progressive cheating. Because I'm leaning forward, and if I start to bend the legs, that's awkward as hell. How are you even going to lateral raise out of this position? You're gonna, you're bending in the opposite way. This shit is f***ed up, guys. You know, you're trying to f*** the dumbbells? That's all you gotta do. And by the way, it's a bit harder for me to coordinate because I got these skinny dumbbells. The real magic happens when you're going heavy. So this technique works when you can at least lateral raise 30 pounds. The dumbbells need to be big enough. So here with these pain dumbbells, got the 10-pound plates. Gives me the perfect flush position. It's very easy to standardize. I'm gonna lean forward, same as before. Raise the torso. Boom. And you see how it hits perfectly where my hands are neutral? I'm very tired right now, but right before this, I did a set with the 50s. Same technique. So you can see it's really not that sloppy. You're catching it briefly, raising, boom, boom. So you got a rhythm going on, but it's standardized. And because the size of dumbbells grow outwards, then the inwards part is the same range of motion. So every time you add 5 to 10 pounds, it will not become progressive cheating. That's a big deal when we talk about cheat reps. So my way, which I learned from a natural bodybuilder, is one of the best. So instead of just doing lateral raises in the scapular plane here, bent forward, you can get the best of both worlds. You're bent, you're raising, but then you level out the torso. Wow. That's all side delts. It's not jerky. Try it out, lift heavy, enjoy the gains. This is the best variation I've found to overcome the flawed resistance profile. Whew. Like, I really mean it, guys. My side delts are trash to the max. I specifically skipped shoulders today just so I can film this segment, but I'll be honest, we're gonna have to make a part 2 for that exact reason, because I think I hit my maximum recoverable volume for this session. So, if you want that, and I do have a lot more tips to share, one of which has to do with the plane of motion and getting more stability. If you want to see that, comment happy delts, and I will 100% bring you that soon.